they may want to have that responsibility of holding their key, but I think there's plenty of people that don't care so much, and they're happy to have someone who sits, for lack of a better term, on top of the blockchain and manages that for them.
And they might even additionally pay for it.
Yeah.
Just, there's going to be something that manages.
It's definitely like the Wild West, though. Like, there's a lot of companies out there that are like Ucore and stuff that are looking into sort of like a one-pass type solution, and that will. I don't know who, but I'm confident that someone will come up with a solution for that.
I have a recovery phrase in my wallet or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If you use that.
No, but like there'll be a new idea of identity. Like the idea of a password is still like embedded in everybody's mind. Right? There'll be new developments.
A biometric.
In terms of identity.
Think of a biometric identification.
Yeah, stuff like that too. But you can hack the fingerprint.
Oh yeah.
But there'll be new
That'll be up to the person. Kind of like going on the internet, like way back in the mid-90s, right? You had to like connect your modem and then like open a certain thing, type your login, and wait and hope, and then like if you get a call, you get booted off. Like that was a pain. But there was enough benefit at the end of the tree.
In the back, there's a question.
Is the private key system still viewed as being a long-term solution? I mean, I guess to caveat this, I'm saying this because I had a conversation today with someone who heard rumors of people making efforts using supercomputers to try to crack people's private keys. In your opinion, do you believe that the system is safe enough, given like the advent of quantum computing coming up?
So
Yeah, we get that question a lot. that's more speculative than
unfortunately,
blockchain.
that one's still probably a fair ways off. The encryption is pretty damn difficult for normal computations that we have available, even for ones that have been 15, 20 years. But think of it like this: if the quantum computer is going to be used to kind of decrypt something, then someone's going to develop a way to kind of use that to encrypt something. So it's just the war is just going to move over to quantum computers. And those are going to be more expensive for miners. Or a new consensus algorithm will be used to use around that.
And I'm sorry, are there companies making efforts to do two-factor authentication and things of that nature when it comes to unlocking wallets?
I suppose, but that would be like an answer to the gentleman's question. Like, there's going to be a service that manages that for the individual, and you might just pay a small amount to have that two-factor authentication. But there's nothing embedded inside of it.
Yes, question.
It may be too early to ask a question like this, but so when an artist receives a notification that they've been paid, for example, I guess I'm going back a few slides.
Sure,
that's cool. Yeah.
What if, let's say the artist passes away, unfortunately, and their profits should go to their heirs or things like that, things that are usually laid out in contracts. How does that work?
Well, that's really interesting you mentioned that, because there's someone here at Cross Campus. Actually, she's in the UK now. She approached us about possibly consulting her regarding an app that she's developing that would capture that information. And I don't see why there couldn't be an API that was built in from that technology that could talk to the smart contract to pay that artist out.
So in a world that's actually, oh god, a movie. The death records can also be on the blockchain, right? So you can imagine a smart contract that's listening on this death blockchain, and if someone dies because they get committed on that one, because the government, and we trust the government, that messages the smart contract, and the artist can define before they die what the address of their children or who it's supposed to go to. So it's literally just like a feel like when I die, person A, person B, person C, those people have respective addresses that they're managing themselves. And basically, if I die, go to these three, click yes, that gets committed. So when that transition goes from the death blockchain, it's a smart contract goes like, oh, okay, the record's supposed to go to these three. That's it. Like, they actually, aside from declaring it, they don't do anything.
Yeah, question.
Is there any scenario where the labels will benefit from this?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of capturing value, in terms of
Aren't you going to disintermediate them?
Like just simple contracts.
yeah, I mean,
Transactional ones.
did you
So
address that?
easy for lawyers, like contracts that have like if and else conditionals can be put on the blockchain. So if you, all those easy kind of contracts, I can't really imagine all of them.
So the labels will be managing the smart contracts?
The legals?
the label.
Labels.
Labels.
He's talking about music labels.
Oh, I
not
thought you meant,
legal.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant legal. Sorry, so what's the question?
So, is there any scenario where the labels, because they're your biggest, they're those who are gonna fight the.
Well, they're going to have to change, right? Like the value that I've received from being a signed artist is largely promotional
Okay.
and is largely like I have credibility as an artist now. But I think that's that's also a cultural thing that we believe that if you're a signed artist that means something, when in plenty of times it means nothing at all. It just depends upon the benefit that the label is providing. And I believe that it should be the artist who determines whether or not they want to move forward with the label, not the other way around, because they become essentially indebted to the label if they take a big advance. Where then it's no longer the artist's control of their own creative copyright content. That's in the control of the label. I don't know, that's a really interesting question.
So you think the platform will become the label? In a sense?
It could help, I suppose. I mean,
Sure.
If it's sponsored by us, maybe that becomes a thing in the future. But that would be like a social construct versus anything else.
I don't see labels disappearing, even if this thing.
No, agreed, because they do.
Yeah, but what are
value,
your thoughts on
but
that? Like what are your thoughts?
I mean, their roles would just change a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't think they'd change a whole lot. I mean, they still would. If artists want to work with a label, they can still work with a label.
Right.
The label just takes care of all that
Maybe
stuff.
they can provide smart contracts for the artist, because the artists are going to write their own smart contracts.
That's right. To address your concern earlier, like, hey, I'm an artist. I want to play guitar. I don't want to, learn Solidity and develop my own smart contracts. Who can I go to that I trust that will provide a service that perhaps that is then a label? The labels provide all of the back end smart contracts to be automated. They take care of that, and there'll be a system that essentially blockchain is trust. So you'll be able to. Blockchain or Ethereum decentivizes bad actors, people who cheat the system. And as a result of that, you could check to verify that what the label says that they can do for you, they have a track record of following through, versus being signed to a label on a promise. Oh yeah, we're going to do this and we're going to do that, and you're really hot right now, but a year from now, no one cares.
and all that can be very visible, and the artist can decide like what kind of label they want. Right? They can see the actions that they took.
Way in the back.
Usually artists are made to be that choosy, like it's unless people are like, there's a bidding war for you or something like that. But I think that, given the advent of the internet and people being able to promote themselves, it was usually extremely expensive to promote yourself because it's very difficult to reach many people. Now it's very easy to reach many people. And the music industry is now in this quandary, like, oh, we're falling apart because of this. No, it's basically rights are going back and are going back to the content owner, meaning the musician. And the thing is that I have seen and know people and heard horror stories. Let me tell you something. The biggest people you know about or have ever heard have gotten ripped off of millions upon millions upon millions.
This incentivizes them to kind of.
Yeah. Because I know bands that had to break up because either the label wouldn't let them out of the contract, they couldn't tour without selling their T-shirts under like the label's son's T-shirt company or whatever, like all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
This is really great. I have a couple of questions about the blockchain thing now. So when you do that, is this something like a quasi-IPO? It's called an ICO?
Yeah, I can think of it similar to that. There's some legalese that I have to kind of walk.
Okay, and you're putting out there like all of our T-shirt sales, all of our ticket sales, all of our this, all of our whatever money that the people makes or whatever. That's what they would get as far as 10%, or that's
Again, I was just postulating like structures that can exist. It could be something like that where whatever, like you get 10% of some percentage of whatever you put in from all the revenue. So like every time an artist goes and gets a gig at an event, they get paid. Any other sort of revenue that gets in can be put back in the contract and distributed to everyone who contributed up to a limit. So after that limit, the artist kind of just keeps the revenue. They're already kind of keeping.
So right now it's open as far as.
Yeah, it depends. I mean, it's unwritten. I was just kind of postulating and hoping that people can kind of think of like different scenarios. to kind of just talk about like, oh, this case is bad, this case not bad. Like maybe the contract includes the merch as well. I don't know.
I see. Do you guys have something like, okay, let's say my dad wants to tour, and we're only going to tour if we can make enough money to get around, and we do some sort of like preliminary ticket sales, or just put out something that's almost like
That exactly would be a wonderful use case for.
At a particular price point, and then it's like, okay, that's acceptable to us, and then the tickets get sold to them. And
Correct.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, without a doubt. That's how flexible the systems are.
Yeah.
Just,
and,
if it can be thought of, it can be written. Yeah, question.
Your company is competing on price thanks to advances in technology and smart contracts. What about taking this idea further, where you have completely decentralized autonomous companies, or where companies run without regard to economic profit? So another company can come forward and run essentially everything you're doing, and no one gets paid. No management gets paid. This sort of does away with the economic system. Of course, you take away incentives for creating these companies, but there are enough bizarre ideological programmers and programmers in general, and bizarre people who also allow them to like capitalism. Isn't this a slippery slope?
yes. Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
don't quite know how to address that question. I mean,
Yes, it allows for something.
Eventually,
Yeah.
most companies can be, not most, but some companies
can be automated,
online.
can sit on a blockchain.
Yes.
Like, I think the examples that I've seen so far have been largely concerning value of the state or basic functions of the state in terms of user identification, in terms of, I don't know, what are some, land title management, property ownership could sit on a blockchain and kind of self-automate, self-operate. Certainly, you could consider a ticketing platform that doesn't necessarily need any humans operating those platforms, and artificial intelligence could essentially execute the smart contracts. And yeah,
So that'd be layer on top of it. Not everything has to be like, for something like for DAO, distributed autonomous organization, they require votes. It's like there's some measure of votes. So a ticketing platform that requires like 60% or whatever the rule is of votes to kind of allow something to exist inside of it is not always the best kind of thing. It can exist, but like it'd be kind of weird. Like I don't know. It just might be kind of weird to have to vote for every single thing.
yeah.
You have an actual example present now in open source software development where people contribute to the development of products. And so you would think they would put other companies that sell software out of business. But that's not what happens. What's happened is that examples of open, in fact, Swift, which is a language that is in the iPhone, is going open source. So why is Apple doing that? Because they've realized, as a lot of software companies realize, that the development moves more quickly, and that has a net value to them. So this is really not, not a simple thing. You're just changing the ecosystem, and by the emergence of open source software has completely transformed the way software gets developed. The emergence of something like this, even without an incentive to make money out of it, will also have transformative effects that you really are not going to see right now.
Yeah, and I think the way that the value is captured is what's really interesting. It doesn't necessarily have to be per ticket sale, it could be per engagement. Like Steemit, for example, they're a really interesting, I guess, social media company?
Yeah, they're like Reddit.
Yeah, like a Reddit that sits on the blockchain where you earn Steemit for producing quality content, for leaving positive comments that get upvoted or downvoted.
A great example is GitHub. I don't know if most of you are familiar with GitHub.
Sure.
It's free. It's a huge complex system, just like Linux is a complex system. But they make money with it too, because there are certain levels of it that you want to pay for. So there are all kinds of...
But many of these examples, they're not truly completely open source. Like in the case of Swift, Apple still keeps their own core libraries all locked up. They may give away the compiler or whatever. In the case of GitHub, GitHub sells GitHub Enterprise to companies with special features that aren't in the public GitHub.
No, it's not that they're selling special features, it's that they're giving support or giving other things that, it's not like you're getting a free version and a premium version. Red Hat is also free.
Well, it's kind of, I mean, you want a premium, you get more private repo.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
But you could just grab their code and host it yourself.
Yeah,
And have infinite number of private repos.
That's GitHub, that's not GitHub, GitHub is not open source.
Is it?
No, it's not.
GitHub?
GitHub is not open source. GitHub is. GitHub is closed source. Git is open source.
Okay, okay.
Three separate things.
Yes, I thought GitHub was open source.
Yeah, GitLab and GitHub.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah.
it's different.
So you can have your own.
Well, I use GitHub, I don't pay for it.
Yeah, but that's free service from a closed source company. It's two different things.
Yeah, exactly.
I
Yeah.
have two questions. So
Sure.
one is, you were talking before about the fact that for the artist, this gives them more control, but of course that also gives them more to manage, and that the manager could still, at that point, offer value. How would the current design enable that, I guess? And then the other question is, because I'm not clear on this, I'm not in business, so who's the one that actually creates the contract?
He does. We do. Yeah, we create the contracts.
So I was saying that human user, who's the human user that actually initiates that process?
So I would say I put the code on there and like provide a GUI, and the artist would stumble upon it and use it. And depending on whatever features I have, they could have all control of themselves. Like they have to receive every notification. They could maybe there's a field to give some access to this specific label tool that administered for them.
I mean, imagine a service, because it doesn't exist now, that's why I say imagine a service where there's a bunch of contracts that artists have access to. That they can say, oh, I'm going to pull down this contract because it also includes a manager in here. No, I don't want to deal with this stuff myself. I'm okay giving a percentage that I decide to the manager to manage certain aspects of these contracts. And that might not even be a music person, it might be.
And it could be, you have another contract without the manager.
Right. Same thing with like replacing basic contracts that you pay an arm and a leg for an attorney to execute. A lot of that stuff could be just living in an open source way that anyone can have access to. Yeah, question?
Yeah, I was just going to chime in on this particular use case, because I was thinking about that as well. So, hypothetically, older style contracts in terms of record companies and stuff would have some sort of a legal personnel, like a lawyer, et cetera, who would write up these specialized contracts for services that the artist would get paid for. The artist would sign their name to, so that the lawyer hypothetically could create a contract that says, okay, like I just mentioned earlier, the promotions, right? You're gonna have a ton of advertisements, whatever, Nike, whatever it might be. So the lawyer creates this paper document and gets the artist to sign it, right? So in terms of this new form of contract, right? I'm trying to visualize, and correct me if maybe you can complete this vision for me, because the idea of having a label that provides these types of contracts is interesting, or selling this as a software as a service, like an encrypted type of service to existing record labels is also interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But would you provide templates, or templates provided? Do you need to create software to provide sort of contract agreements